Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I'm Chase Earl, joined by Jake Gordon and Alex Lord. Michael Soroka toed the rubber for Gwinnett last night. He's had a couple of rough outings, and last night started out very rough. Lost the first guy, got ahead of him, ended up giving up a walk. His control has been the biggest problem. The stuff's there. He's throwing 95 right now. That's what he sat at with a sinker, 94.9, 94, 95 all night. The stuff's there. The control's been a problem. That led to a weak single, which was followed up 2 batters later by a 3-run homer. And then he was at like 30 pitches. He was probably a couple pitches away, like maybe a hit or 2 away from getting bounced in the first inning, which would have been terrible. But he settles down, guts it out, gets out of that first inning, then retires the next 9 batters in a row. He only gave up a single in the 4th, then got the next guy out. He was done after 4 innings. My biggest takeaway here is he only threw 73 pitches. I like the way he gutted it out. I liked his stuff. His control still needs work. I mean, he's not at the level he needs to be probably to be an MLB starter. But the Braves almost don't have that much of a choice. Now, they're not going to rush him. They've made that clear. But if they don't add a veteran arm, I don't know where they're going because Dodd ain't the answer, as I've said a million times, and Schuster ain't the answer. And they can't just gas their bullpen once every 5 days. So we'll see how they do it moving forward. I still wouldn't mind seeing them. But I just don't know what the plan is because only letting him throw 73 pitches is kind of telling to me.
Yeah, I was going to say that the pitch count, I was going to base my entire answer today on the pitch count. And he's not coming up. There's no way he's coming up after just throwing 70-something pitches. And frankly, the Braves don't care. I think the Braves would rather just get in a body bag to every 5th day to throw out there than rush Soroka back, honestly.
I don't know about no chance, but I definitely don't think it's very likely. I mean, if 70 pitches is more than a lot of guys could give him right now if he can throw 70 pitches in an MLB game. But yeah, I still think it's possible they go sign somebody off the street. We saw him pick up Justice Sheffield. I think he's just kind of depth at this point. But, you know, I floated the idea, maybe Chris Archer. I mean, he's not a world beater, but, you know, 4.5 run ERA. If he can hold the opposing offense to 4 runs and pitch 5 or 6 innings, the Braves can win those games. So I'm not too worried about that. The question is, can he do that? And he's going to have time to ramp up. And, you know, I just think they're going to have to sign somebody off the street or pluck somebody out of 40-man in exchange for cash. But I think you can give Soroka a chance. It's definitely not going to be. I don't know about this next start. I don't think it's at home because they're going to Toronto.
It's in Toronto. Oh no, because he won't be playing. He won't be ready for
it. It would be the 16th. Whoever we play on the 16th.
I think it's the Rangers.
Well, that's the date we need another 5th starter. So that'll be interesting.
It lines up perfectly for him. It does line up perfectly. It would be his 5th day or 4 days rest. Yesterday was the first time he's actually thrown on 4 days rest. They've been giving him extra rest, skipping starts, stuff like that, which is totally fine. One thing I do want to push back on is like I see guys, and I respect some of the guys that have said this, but they're talking about like, oh, like he needs to spend the whole season in Gwinnett. No, he does not. Like, no, he doesn't. Like his stuff is still really good. And the control is an issue. And I'm not sure he's major league ready today. And if we didn't have all these injuries, he definitely wouldn't be rushed to the majors. It might not be a couple months. But if once his control matches his stuff, he will be in the majors. His stuff is still nasty. Like it's just as good as it was pre-injury. And listen, the one thing that Soroka was always great at coming up, what he was known for was not necessarily the stuff as much as his control and him being able to pinpoint that. That's gone. It's understandable. He hasn't pitched really in 2-3 years. But once that comes back or even comes close to coming back, he's major league ready. He doesn't have to be an all-star, but he does have to give the team innings, and he could be a solid 5th starter even when guys come back.
Yeah, I just don't see any way. I just keep going back to the 70 pitch. And I know what you're saying. 70 pitches is a lot more than another guy could get him. But I'm just saying, like, the Braves are overly cautious with most of their guys, especially their pitchers. So I don't see him coming back. I mean, I do think the whole leaving him in Gwinnett for the whole year is asinine. There's no way they do that. If he shows that he's ready and can pitch, 90, he could throw 90 and his control is a little bit better. But they're not going to rush him regardless of what's going on in Atlanta.
Agreed. Which I would be very surprised if it happened right now. 73 pitches. They gave him, 10 days off just a week ago. So I'd be surprised right now. But eventually could be 2 weeks. It could be a month. It could be 2 months. We're going to see him in Atlanta this year. Coming up after the break, just stop tweeting Mark Jackson.